Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? El plato fuerte, lo mejor de la noche. Estamos en el booth de PRODUCCIÓN Guitars, Paul Reed Smith Guitar with the man himself, con Mr. Paul. Paul.
Everything you just said was in Spanish, but the man himself is Spanglish. That's English.
Yeah, I know.
Are you going to do Spanglish? Is that what you're going to do? Half English, half Spanish?
We don't have in Spanish an expression to say that, the man himself. If you say that in Spanish, it sounds kind of silly.
Okay.
So I prefer to say that in proper English to introduce the man himself. Well, it's such an honor, Paul. I'm thrilled to meet you. I'm a guitar player. I love PRS. I own 4 PRS guitars.
So I play in a band called Maná.
Maná.
I play in Maná, and I am the gringo amigo.
You play with Maná, with the guitar player Sergio Ballín.
Yeah, and Fair, and Psycho Fernando, and Juan, and Alex, and everybody.
It's
yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Sergio, yeah.
Sergio Ballín, see, a good friend of us.
Yeah. Fernando, his brother, Fernando Valim is in the band as well. Yeah.
Fernando.
Yeah.
He's also a photographer.
So you know what they call me?
How they call you?
Cabron.
Cabron. Very Mexican.
So you know what else they call me? They call me Power Smith, which is a mispronunciation of Paul Reed Smith. Paul Reed Smith, Powder Smith. So it became Power Smith. I'm like, jeez, are you kidding me? And anyway, I just got back from Tulum. I just went on vacation in Mexico. I loved it.
The Caribbean.
Well, I got to swim in the cenotes. Oh, God, it was so beautiful.
So you love Mexico?
I love Mexico.
That's wonderful.
I might retire in Mexico.
There are plenty of places to do that.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But speaking about
Have you ever
your
been
guitar,
to Tulum?
yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I love the Caribbean, the
Yucatan.
Riviera Maya.
Yeah.
From Cancun to Tulum is awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So, Paul, anything you want to tell us is like gold in powder. It's incredible talking with you.
So I will tell you, in my experience, Mexico is a guitar country. Mexico has a guitar heritage. Mexico has a loving soul. Mexico has complicated sides of it.
Yes, of course.
But you know, when I left Tulum, I wanted to talk to the presidente about maybe putting a factory in Mexico. I love it because the people would love to make guitars. They would give you their everything. That was really heart-filled what I saw when I was there. I adored it.
I agree. Mexico is a very musical country, and Mexicans love musical instruments. They put their heart into building them.
They do, and it's a guitar country, and all the woods you need to make guitars grow in Mexico.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have Yucatan rosewood, and there's mahogany, and everything's there. Only the curly maple's not there.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Only the curly maple's not there. So, do you like living in Mexico?
I like living in Mexico. In terms of living there, it's not easy because it's very complex. There are, like many Mexicos, like they were layers.
Yeah, there are layers
of a cake. So in those many layers, your Mexico experience could be different.
Yeah.
But in the end, you are in every layer. You live. Sometimes you are with poor people, peasants in the foremost parts of the country, and in other times you are in the city, the business district.
Yeah, but the food was unbelievable.
It's
You like tacos carnitas?
yeah, tacos y carnitas, of course, and the
Yeah.
famous tacos al pastor.
Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah.
Now we're talking.
You like tequila?
Tequila also, and mezcal.
Oh, Raisilio, you know what that is?
What?
Oh, there's a kind of mezcal that's hallucinogenic.
Wow.
that you're not allowed to have in America, and somebody fed it to me, and I had hallucinados.
Yo, wow, what an experience.
Wild experience.
Wild experience.
You have some very good things in Mexico.
Yeah, it's
Listen, the people have big hearts, and they're loving, and they're, you know, there's trouble too, but it's complicated. It's many, many layers like a cake. That's a good way to put it. By the way, America has many, many, many layers. I do not believe that our country would be as scared if they knew the people.
I agree with that, totally. Yeah, because you need to get closer and get this real experience, not through newspapers or TV or the real face-to-face experience. And then I know many Americans and even Europeans that had that, and they love Mexico, Mexican food. You know that in the west part of Mexico, where those tropical woods and the rainforest and all that, in the small towns, usually you find German anthropologists or Dutch social researcher that love that town so much but stayed there.
Hey, so I'll tell you a story. Now, this is wild. I wanted to go see them cut the cocobolo trees.
The cocobolo, yeah.
Okay, but they were growing them on like marijuana plantations, you know. And they said, you cannot come. And I said, why not? I want to watch the rosewood get cut. They said, gringo, you will die. And I went, why? They said, because they think you're a DAA agent. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to die. You know, I thought they were gonna, put a wig on me and clothes.
Yeah.
They said, gringo, you will die. And I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go watch Coca-Cola get cut. You better. So let me just tell your people something for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm a guitar maker. I met Mana through guitar making. They found out that I could play, and their heart was open enough to let me play. It's interesting. You know who else lets me play? Carlos Santana.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that the bands that let me play these big concerts are of Mexican descent. So there's some sort of attachment for me. But I want to tell your people that we are gifted too. We're gifted guitar makers, and we make guitars for your country. We're starting to ship guitars into Mexico, and they should trust our guitar making. We're good at it, and I tell the stories about my experiences in Mexico to try and say that I don't have a prejudice. My heart is open, and I would then want their heart to be open to at least giving us a try.
Yeah, wise words. I totally agree. And what you say about bringing your guitars to Mexico,
they're coming more and more now.
It's incredible. With the SE line, huge success. Yeah. Now the S2 line, Maryland made, but more affordable than the core line. And in Mexico, PRS is well respected. Because
so why don't you start sending me cases of very expensive tequila?
We can talk about that. And okay.
Mezcal. Is mezcal different than tequila?
Yes, because tequila is more refined and is made only with the blue agave plant.
And what's
in
mezcal?
Certain region there's a and mezcal is made with other kind of agave, other kind of plant.
Cactus.
It's more like
So which do you
maguey.
like? Do you like tequila or mezcal?
Tequila. Tequila more because it's more refined, more easily taste. Mezcal is more woody.
I think maybe I'm gonna like the mezcal.
Mezcal.
I think maybe I'll like the mezcal. Let me tell you why.
It's raspberry.
I like smooth. So you think that tequila is smoother, huh?
Smoother. Yeah.
I like the woody smell though.
Yeah, more refined. The mezcal is more from the hills, the local towns.
So
more
there's a very famous book in America called The Teachings of Don Juan, and there was a Yaqui Indian who was interviewed in this book, and I live by I live by the teachings of this Yaqui Indian. He had 4 enemies that you face. The first enemy is fear, and the second enemy is clarity, and the third enemy is power, and the last enemy is old age. And he talks about these enemies that you face. And so for me, spiritually, it was a Mexican Indian who I follow.
Oh, it's incredible. Wise word also, those 4 aspects, 4 fears.
4 enemies.
Enemies. Yeah, okay. 4 enemies you in your life you face, and
everybody faces fear.
And you need to conquer them.
I'm facing the second enemy right now.
It's like a process throughout life.
I may face the third one. I know I will face the last one. Old age is a bitch. It's the worst one.
It's the worst one. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
If you say the words that Mana called me in Ecuador, it's awful. But in Mexico, it's okay, right?
It's okay. Yeah. In Mexico, many things are just okay. You can say pretty much everything. It's complicated, but it's nice.
So I called my friend, one of my friends in Mana. I was teasing him. I called him a cabroncita, a little girl cabron.
Yeah.
And Fair, the singer in Mana, goes, Paul, that's very good.
Very good.
I thought it was pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've never heard that, right? I made that up. That's my term.
That's incredible. And
I'm going to learn how to speak Spanish once, eventually.
Yeah.
I will speak Spanish. My wife speaks fluent Spanish. I will learn the language. It sounds familiar to me.
Okay.
I mean, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I can count.
You can count in Spanish.
I can do things like that. But I, you know, and if you say, you know, if you ask me how I am.
¿Cómo estás, Paul?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Muy bien.
Yeah.
Ah, qué bueno. Qué bien. El cabrón. Es un cabrón.
Are you going to use all this?
We can edit it.
No, leave it.
Okay.
Will your fans like it?
Yeah, they loved it.
All right, good. So
that
we're glad.
aspect of you, they will love it.
Listen,
Yeah?
I'm 64 in a few days. I'm getting older. It's an interesting moment when you're over the halfway line. I will never make 125. I'm over the halfway line.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be here. It's nice to talk to you. I love your country and your people.
I'm over also that middle point. I'm 53.
You know where I would put it in Aguascalientes.
Aguas Calientes.
That's where I would put the factory.
It's incredible. Oh, we hope to see that one day. It will be awesome.
Is that a good place
It's
to put it?
a very good place because it's in central Mexico.
Yeah.
In terms of logistics, it's a very clever location.
Yeah.
Huh? Paul, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
And thank you for everything. We will love to make review of your models. We will speak with your staff, your team, and maybe we in Mexico can
Give
put
me
our
good
hand.
reviews.
Okay, I will give you tequila and mezcal. I promise.